Yo, what's up everyone? In this video, this is going to be a beginner's guide and tutorial in Roblox Combat Warriors on movement and stamina. So let's get started. So when you first spawn into the game, when you move around, you only begin walking. Now in order to sprint, you're gonna have to press shift on your keyboard and then you're gonna start running. Now what you will notice when you start running is that there's this bar that will go down very quickly. That is actually your stamina bar, and stamina in this game is very important. The difference between you having stamina or not having any stamina at all can determine whether or not you defeat the other enemy player. If you take a look on the screen, when I run out of stamina, the next thing I can only do is just walk. It's very important when you're using your stamina that you time it and also manage it wisely. In most cases, you don't always need to sprint around. You can just walk and then maybe sprint a little bit and then walk again. You don't need to constantly sprint around unless there's an enemy that is chasing you, for example. Now the next movement I'm going to show you is dash. You can do dash by just walking and then pressing E on your keyboard. The main thing you want to know about dashing is that there's a slight timer before you could dash again. If you take a look on the screen, when I dash right now, I can't dash again until after a couple of seconds. This is very important for you to know as a beginner because timing your dash can mean the difference between you defeating an enemy or avoiding his attacks or the enemy player defeating you. Also, keep in mind that dashing will also use a portion of your stamina, so make sure you have a good amount of stamina before you dash. The next beginner's move I'm going to show you is slide. Now in order to slide, all you got to do is press shift on your keyboard and then press C. Keep in mind when you slide, you will also use stamina as well. Now when you're doing the sliding animation, the longer you hold down the C button on your keyboard, the longer you will slide, but at the same time, your slide will begin to slow up, so keep that in mind. Now the second way to slide is when you're sprinting, you roll and you slide at the same time. If you take a look on the screen, it will be like this. That is sprinting, dashing, and sliding. Now the next move you need to know as a beginner is stomping. Stomping does not use any of your stamina, and the main thing you use stomping for is to finish off an enemy player. Now the next control that is also based on movement is crouching. You can crouch by pressing C on your keyboard. Crouching doesn't use any stamina, and when you compare it to walking, it's a lot slower. In most cases, you're not really gonna be crouching, but sometimes crouching can be kind of useful, especially when you're trying to like sneak up on an enemy player, for example. Now the last and final key that kind of helps with your movement is shift lock. In order to do this, just press control on your keyboard and then your screen will be like this. In most cases, you will want to play combat warriors like this because you could turn your screen a lot easier, which is very important for avoiding enemy players' attacks, attacking other enemy players. Now a couple of more moves that you need to know as a beginner is that the first one is that you could dash in any direction. You can dash to the right by heading towards the right side and then dashing. You can dash to the left by heading towards the left side and then dashing, and you can even dash backwards by heading backwards and then pressing dash. This is really important for you to know because you don't always want to dash forward. Sometimes you might want to dash to the right, to the left, or even backwards. Now also, when you're crouching, you can also dash. Just like with the other movements, you can dash forward, you can dash to the right, you can dash to the left, and you can dash backwards as well. Keep in mind when you dash while crouching, after you finish the dash, you will no longer keep on crouching. These are the basic movement controls that you need to know as a beginner. Please make sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below if you learned something from this video. I hope you enjoyed this video.